Hi, my name is Carmela Lucian, and I'm in your juvenile delinquency class, and I will be talking about my final paper, well, summarizing it. Okay, to begin with, the first question on my final paper was define and explain the term juvenile delinquency. Juvenile delinquency, we all know juvenile stands for teens, young kids, children, teens. Okay. Juvenile delinquency is a participation in action by a minor child, usually between the ages of 10 and 17, in illegal behavior or activities. Juvenile delinquency remains similarity practice, so they can mention to kids that display a consistent actions and conduct of harm or else breaking rules. Juvenile delinquency remains as well recognized and placed every juvenile offending, as well as each state consumes their own separate permissible method in place of towards of having to deal with juveniles that break and do not follow the law. My second question was identify some of the major causes of juvenile delinquency. I think one of the major problems will be school, following their friends, peer pressure. But for my question, I answered one of the major causes of juvenile delinquency can be poor school attendance. Being present remains one of the highest issues contributing towards juvenile delinquency, because once they're not in school, they're either on the street doing something with bad influences, fighting, selling drugs, stealing, getting to things that they do not need to be getting themselves into. And that's how they start off being delinquency, following others. And being delinquency comes from a lot of reasons. It could even become from family members, all that. But let me continue with my next question. My next question is discuss the importance of the public school system relative to the direction and prevention of juvenile crime avoidance within the current period today are the school. On the other hand, others are being family, as I stated, community, as well as official justice and justice system. Prevention programs influence the overall public since they discontinue crime from happening. Also, there remain even a few prevention programs that remain more successful than others, because there's always programs that help other teams better than the other programs does. Everything will work for someone, and some things won't work for some people. Identify the problem areas that have an influence. Hold on. 1, 2, 3. This is my third question. Discuss the importance. Oh no, I was right. This is my fourth question. I'm sorry. My fourth question is identify the problem areas that have an influence upon juvenile delinquency between peers, parents, and school. Okay, with peers, I feel like if you have friends, I'm just gonna give you a little summary of what I've said. With peers, I just feel as if usually teens follow their friends. Whatever their friend do, they want to look cool, so they're gonna do what they do. With parents, usually parents are not even involved in their kids' life when it comes to school. They don't know what their kids is doing in school. They don't know how they're performing, what grades they're making. They're not involved with that kid. So that tends to make a child feel, like the parent doesn't care about them. So they start to isolate themselves and be like in their own shell. And with school, some kids, that's how with the parents not being in life, that's what makes them perform and not do well in school. Also, the problem in areas that have the influence upon juvenile delinquency is that the neighborhood remains within a juvenile is living a system violent, the kid will become violent as well. And that's when the kid starts to become lashing out on others on behalf of violence they go through at home. See? As I stated. Okay, my next question is explain the proceedings of the juvenile court system. The proceedings of a juvenile court system begin with juvenile punishment, as well as procedures used within juvenile delinquency courtrooms are different from meaningfully as well as adult courtroom. My sixth question was compare the advantages and disadvantages of juvenile incarceration. To begin with, first, it stretches out fairness towards the targets as well as other loved ones. No matter how old you are, they need you to learn to take accountability for their activities, as well as remain completed on the way to comprehend the significance of corrupt choices. Disadvantages of juveniles being tried as adults and placed as teenage offenders. Young criminals may possibly take a message to have no future, as well as hopes of becoming, to some degree, additional towards a crime. And my last question was, describe the juvenile rehabilitative programs. Okay, consolation, putting into practice an effort rehabilitation as well as the delinquency prevention programs may possibly consider to decrease the future delinquency. The utmost wide-ranging meta-analysis investigate the efficiency of juvenile delinquency programs remain directed through Lipsey in 1992, who expected 443 not the same investigation revisions. The further irrational programs remain foretold towards decreasing reoffending considerably. And to wrap up, that was my paper, and I hope you have a good day, and I hope you enjoy my paper. Bye.